Hey guys, it's Heather here, and sorry for the long delay in getting a video to you, but hey, I'm still here. I'm still playing, and I've also been designing some swag for you guys, and one of my favorite designs is Odd Queen Walk That. So pretty fitting for today because I'm going to be sharing with you my tips for queen walking that you can implement into any Town Hall 9, Town Hall 10, Town Hall 11 attack. Queen walk has become one of the most used, one of the most interesting, one of the most versatile elements of attacking at Town Hall 9 through 11. Queen walk is used in all areas of the game, for farming, for trophy pushing, and of course for war. My farming army has been queen healer goblins ever since it changed to healers. I use queen walk in a good portion of my war attacks. And because using Queen Healer can be used in every single type of attack combo, whether it's ground or air, whatever you're doing, you can always throw a Queen Walk in there. I wanted to do a video specifically just on that. And then hopefully break it down even further into the most popular attacks involving Queen Walk, such as probably the most popular Queen Walk, the Go-Va-Ho, and the up-and-coming Queen Walk Dragons. Yes, the ultimate Daenerys attack. So I've been talking with several of my clanmates, getting their essential tips to include, and I've got to give a big shout out to Al. He's the first person I ever saw use a Queen Walk as a war attack, and one of the best players I've ever seen utilizing it. He and I have been talking extensively about Queen Walks and the Queen Charge, so I wanted to make sure I gave him props for this. So a Queen Walk can be done with any level queen, any level of heroes, but to be an effective queen walk, it really shouldn't be done until the queen is level 10, and oftentimes you're going to want a queen that's level 20 plus. Now the reason for this is you're going to be using 3 to 4 healers on that archer queen, and those healers really should be level 4. They're so cheap to get to level 4, there shouldn't even be a question about having level 4 healers. So when using 3 to 4 healers towards this, the Archer Queen has to serve multiple purposes because you're using 42 to 56 troop space just in healers, plus additional troops in funneling. So you're using a minimum of 25% of your troop space for this. If your queen isn't able to do multiple things, such as pull and kill the clan castle, kill the enemy Archer Queen, clear double giant bomb spots, take out essential buildings such as air defense, or whether that's just to protect her healers or to assist in an air attack, plus do cleanup, then the Queen Walk may not be your best option. So have a purpose for your Queen Walk. Don't just throw it out there because everybody else is doing it. She should have a goal and a purpose in mind and a reason for that attack that's going to justify using at least 25% of your troop space for it. Now, your Archer Queen is your most effective asset you can use with healers because of her range. She can take all of the hits coming in and keep the healers alive, and the healers then keep her alive. That's why it's called the Queen Walk. You can essentially keep your queen alive the entire raid. Now you have 5 possible helps to keep your Queen Walk alive. The first one, of course, is her ability. Get that at level 5 Archer Queen, and this allows her to hide and for the defenses to retarget off your queen, which allows the healers to get your queen healed back up again. Now the next 3 helps are spells. The first one, and the one that's used most often, is Rage. It's super vital, especially if you're doing a queen charge. We'll get more into that later. The most important thing to keep in mind when using a Rage is that the Rage has to encompass the healers for the entire time that the Rage is activated. The main purpose of that Rage is to allow the healers to heal the queen faster and more. That's what matters. Get the queen back up to full health. Of course, raging the queen so she can take out those point defenses faster, that's also important, but that is secondary to making sure that your healers are in the rage. Now the second spell that you can use is Poison. Poison is going to help you take out clan castle troops. It's going to slow them down, plus it's going to weaken them, so it allows that Archer Queen to be able to take out those clan castle troops without having to use her ability or use her rage. It also allows you to take out the enemy Archer Queen without using your queen's ability or a rage. So that's good to keep in mind too. Drop a poison on the enemy Archer Queen, and that will be good enough for your queen to take it out. Now the third spell is Freeze, and this is only going to matter taking on Town Hall 10s and 11, and really I only use it during farming. If I'm going to take my queen into the center of the base, get that dark elixir, and she's going close to Infernos, I take Freeze with me because a timely freeze will allow me to either get my queen out of range of the Inferno or allow her to take the Inferno out. So I got Freeze and I got her ability are the only 2 things that can non-stop infernos. Because once the inferno locks on my queen, she's going down because the healers can't heal her through an inferno. So gotta use a freeze, gotta use the ability, or gotta just kill that inferno. And then the final help you have is using other troops. You can assist the queen by sending in a hog against a point defense when the queen's under fire and help take that out. Sometimes it might be a good idea to take a giant to help you get a good path for your wall breakers if you want to do a queen charge and get her into the core. And then of course you're going to be using troops to help funnel, wizards, minions. The baby dragon is awesome for funneling. So there's a lot of things that other troops can do to help support the queen walk. Now just a couple of things to keep in mind before I move on to this next part. The enemy clan castles, if they have Valks or a P.E.K.K.A. inside, you're going to have to use your queen's ability, not a rage. Use your queen's ability. That's the only way she's going to be able to get through those. Taking 2 poisons as your dark spells is always a pretty good option with queen walks because the poison can be used both on the clan castle and on the enemy archer queen. So 2 little tips to keep in mind. Now the most essential thing to know with queen walks, and probably the reason that the majority of you are watching this video and what you want to know, is how do I get my queen to go the way I want her to go? And in order to know that, you're going to have to know what your queen's attack range is and what her target range is. And this is going to determine which way your queen's going to walk. And you know what? Even if you have this all planned out and you know the distance of everything, you know exactly where she's going to go, and you've measured twice, you've dropped her once, there are still so many things that can happen to send your queen off in a completely different direction. One time I had a perfect queen walk set up. I'd cleared one side, the queen was walking east, and one of my funneling wizards right before he died headed in towards the center, triggered a skeleton trap. That caused my queen to take 2 steps backwards into the skeletons, and that completely took her off course right towards Infernos, and queen walk was over. One of the best things you can do is have some backup options in mind for what you're gonna do if the queen goes the wrong way. This is what makes queen walk so exciting. You constantly have to watch and adapt to what's going on with your queen, and knowing when to start the rest of your attack and where to adapt the rest of your attack so you don't run out of time. So as you're scouting a base, the most basic thing to keep in mind is the queen has an attack range of 5 squares. It's actually more than 5, but less than 6, because the queen's ranges are radial and the buildings are square, but without worrying too much about the math, this just means the queen can target buildings that are 5 spaces away from her, but she doesn't have to be exactly perpendicular to them. She doesn't have to stand right in front of them to be able to hit it. She can hit the buildings on an angle, hit them on the diagonal. So same for her target range. If she is within 8 tiles, again, more than 8, but less than 9, of a building that's not behind a wall, she will target it and she'll walk to it, she'll get within 5 squares, and she's gonna attack it. But if there are no buildings within that 8 tile range, then she's gonna go to the very closest building to her, which means she's going to hit a wall to get to that building. So if you don't want your queen breaking in, you're gonna have to keep that in mind with where the buildings are, what buildings you're gonna have to take out, what buildings you're gonna have to leave standing to keep your queen on the right path. Now, as the queen starts to walk around the outside of the base, you will see she starts to hug that outer wall. And the healers are gonna follow right behind her, and they're gonna hug the wall too. So they're just gonna walk right there against the wall. Now this is all fine because the queen is the target. The queen's gonna continue to walk around the base, sniping defenses, sniping those heroes, getting the clan castle, whatever. This is great if there's a ton of outside defenses within her range on that first, layer of wall. It works really well with those lower level queens because she doesn't have to take on a bunch of defenses all at once. However, if there are air defenses that are out of the queen's attack range, yet the air defenses have range outside that last layer of walls, the air defenses will take out your healers, and the queen can't hit over the wall and take them out. The queen can hit over a wall and take out 2 defenses that are right next to each other. You have 1 space for the wall. The first building takes up spaces 2, 3, and 4, and then the back building would be the 5th space. So she can take out an air defense that way. However, if there's a wall, a defense, a wall, and then the air defense, or there's a wall, a defense, a space, and then the air defense, that air defense can target your healers. It expands over the wall, and your queen cannot reach it and take it out without going through the wall. So this is going to be what becomes a big factor in determining how the queen is used. If you're going to queen healer in that situation, then you have to break the queen inside. Either you have to use wall breakers, you have to jump her in, earthquake, whatever. She has to go inside, she has to take out that air defense. You have to funnel her into the base. And this is what's termed a queen charge. A charge involves wall breaking the base, plus or minus a jump spell to keep her into the middle. The charge usually involves at least one rage, usually more. You're going to need a lot of help because she's going to be taking on a lot more defenses than she would if she were just on the outside. And it works great when there's not a lot of trash buildings inside the wall, so she can just go in there and just take down one defense after another. This is really hard to do without a higher level queen. She's got to be at least 20 plus. Otherwise, you're better off just keeping her on the outside. Now let's step back again and talk about the clan castle. If it's anything except a hound, you got to try and get the queen to deal with it. A hound, you probably just want to leave that alone. Just don't even pull it, just let him sit there in the clan castle. Have it come out and follow your box around, whatever. But if it's anything except for a hound, getting your queen to deal with it is a great way to go. And one poison is often all you're gonna need to slow everything down enough for her to deal with it. Now, the popular new clan castle that's gonna have a baby dragon and Valks in it, most likely your archer queen's gonna need to burn her ability, because that Valk and baby dragon can kill your archer queen if she is using a rage and poison only. So keep that in mind. You see that come out? No, that's where your queen's ability is going to be used. That being said, your poison's still really good. It's really great to be able to use a poison on the enemy archer queen, because dropping that poison on the enemy archer queen will allow your queen to take her out, the healers to get her back up to full health without having to use your rage or your ability. So be sure to do that. That's a great place to drop your poison. And like I talked about at the beginning, make sure you use your queen walk to help the rest of your troops that you're using. If it's a hog attack, then your queen's job is to trip double giant bomb spots or disable them. If you're pairing her with air attacks, then you got to get her to the Tesla farms. You got to have her take out extra air defenses. So keep that in mind. It's not just to walk around the outside and do some cleanup. She's got to have some major goals in mind. She has to be what allows the other 75% of your army to 3-star the base. Now with the queen walk, you always have to keep an eye on your queen. Know what's going on in the attack. Know what she's going to be approaching. Knowing that she's going to be under heavy fire. If she's going to have to start taking on 3-point defenses, a pretty high level queen can take on 2, but once you hit 3, you're going to have to use a rage, you're going to have to use ability, or she's going to be toast. So keep an eye on her, know what's going on. Losing your queen early on in a queen walk attack pretty much guarantees that attack's going to fail. You can try and recover from it, but it's going to be really difficult to have lost 25% of your army right off the bat. If you want to get good at queen walk, put 4 healers into your farming army. Now you can put more, but 4 healers are what you're going to use during war. So it's a good idea to have 4 healers and see what your queen can handle. Not only is it awesome for getting resources, like I said, that's the way that I farm. That's how you get dark elixir. But you're gonna get a much better feel for queen movement and be able to time your rage spells and when to use her ability. I farm with healers and goblins. I know a lot of other people who farm with giants, wizards, and healers. It's pretty much an essential part of most farming armies. And you can do extremely well with a setup like this. You can definitely trophy push with it as well. So it works in many different facets of the game. And of course, practice is going to make perfect on this. It's not something that's going to be easy to pick up right off the bat, but it's something that you're going to want to try and do a lot of friendly challenges with it. Focus on the tricky parts of the attack, on the hero kills, on the clan castle kills, when to use rage, when to use the queen's ability, what your queen can take on, and you're going to be really well prepared to be able to implement the queen walk into any of your attacks. Alright guys, that's going to wrap it up for me. This is just a very basic general overview for you who are new to queen walking, new to Town Hall 9, need some basic tips on how to get started with queen walk. If you have any questions, be sure to leave a comment down below, but more importantly, download the Bindle app. It's in the App Store, and join the room, #ClashTutor. Lots of really cool people in there, lots of people who have a lot of experience with queen walks, and they can definitely help you if you have questions about how to use a queen walk in your next attack. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.